Well, good afternoon, friends. Just do a gratuitous dog shot first. So we're starting off our fireside chat the right way with our girl Echo. You see Chance standing over there. Chance, come here. Come here. Come say hi. Chance, come here. Come here. Good boy. Come here, say hi. Come here. There's the boy, Chance. Look up. There you go. Er, er. Stay. There you go. There's Chance. There's Echo. Yeah, we start the video off right with a gratuitous set of dog shots. Both in a good mood. Both are getting used to this, by the way. Wow, we got a perfect afternoon. It's like 55 degrees. So far, not a lick of wind. Really not even a breeze. We got the fire just starting up. And we'll be back in a few minutes. You hear? Huh? She's all alert because she can hear Chance down in the woods. Right? Where'd he go? Where did he go? I'll go get him in a minute. He might come back. See, he doesn't like that he went away. So she's our emergency backup dog. She relies on Chance to be the primary guard dog. So she feels like she's more of an alert animal. Like she'll let you know something's wrong and then wants to get behind you, and she'll let Chance know something's wrong and then get behind him and watch him handle it. So that's what you're seeing here right now. All right, let's see. What time is it? It is about 4:15 on Tuesday afternoon, and I'm sure you've heard by now we got some bridge issues here in Baltimore. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. And then, so just so you know, the Key Bridge was about 45 minutes north of me. It's about 30 miles north of me, about 45 minutes to get there. Driven over it a bunch. It's a pretty key piece of infrastructure. We're going to talk about that. I printed a map so I can kind of show you why it's so much in the news. Other than that, was kind of the only thing happening last night. So I'm going to come sit next to you and I'm going to go over this map and show you where it was and why it's such a big deal. Yeah, whoa, you're all big. So I just want to show this to you. So the red circle is the Baltimore Beltway, or the Ring Road. I think in Europe you guys might call them ring roads, but most of our major cities in the U.S. now have these M roads or interstates that go all the way around it. And this section down here is now gone, this whole across the river part. So this is the Patapsco River. We'll talk about that in a minute, but this section of the Baltimore Beltway is now gone and laying in the river. So the other thing I wanted to show you was, so this blue line I have coming up here, and then this blue line coming out here, that's what we call Interstate 95, I-95. It's the rightmost, it's the eastmost north-south transportation route in the United States. So that's I-95. I-95 runs literally from Florida to Maine, and a huge amount of our truck traffic goes on I-95. So you can see I-95 is used to coming up to here, going over that bridge, and then heading on up to Philadelphia and New York. So so now all that truck traffic, everybody's now, this is all closed, and the truck traffic now is going to have to go from 5% going this way to 100% going this way. So this is a pretty busy beltway during the day. Baltimore's a pretty major city. Several million people live there and go to work every day. So again, this is what's gone. And this is the huge interstate route that's going to have to get rerouted over the top of the beltway. So you can tell it's almost twice, maybe even more, twice as long. And now it's going to be twice as congested. So I think we're looking at a several year-long nightmare. So anyway, that's what's going on. I live like down here. So no one I know is impacted. I mean, it happened at 1 in the morning. So, I mean, there were people hurt, but it probably couldn't happen at a better time on the clock to reduce the number of fatalities. All right, well, that's enough close-up. Just do another gratuitous double dog shot here. Chance has been off roaming around. Now he came back. He's all pleased with himself, tail's wagging. He wishes to be praised for returning on his own. And Echo loves the heat of the fire, so she loves to lay right by it. All right, you guys are famous. Yeah, for doing nothing but being dogs. Yeah, you're a happy boy. All right. All right, enough dog shots. All right, guys, the cigar for this afternoon is Charter Oak, Connecticut leaf. And I picked the darker of the two, so I have the Maduro. I have a lighter one, but like some of you guys say, it's like smoking air. It's just super light. I like it. It's just light. There's really no spice or boldness to the light one, but this Charter Oak Connecticut Shade Maduro is pretty nice. It's a medium, but it's rolled. These things are rolled super nice, and this one's in really nice shape for me in the humidor for a year. So anyway, that's what we're smoking: Charter Oak Connecticut Shade Maduro. Oh, and tonight we're sponsored by Taco Bell Pepsi. A quart every time you go there. You get a quart of Pepsi, man. I just couldn't take any more of that cranberry ginger ale tonight. So, guys, we'll spend some time tonight during our chat here, talk about the bridge. So we'll talk about the history of it for a minute. So it was called the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And when they rebuilt it, I hope they leave the name alone. Because it was about 100 yards from Fort McHenry. And Fort McHenry was built right in the middle of Baltimore Harbor to protect Baltimore from the British during the War of 1812. And in 1814, Francis Scott Key was held prisoner on a British frigate, I believe, out in Baltimore Harbor, just off Fort McHenry, and that's where he watched the bombardment But anyway, so where he wrote Star Spangled Banner was pretty much right where the bridge is, and that's why it's named there. It's been there a long time. It was 72 to 77, so it took him about 6 years to build the bridge, and it opened in 1977. So it's been there a long time, and it looked like a bridge. It was built in the early 70s. It was constantly under maintenance. It was constantly being painted. It was too small. It was 2 lanes each way, so it was a major bottleneck. It's a lot bigger bottleneck now that ain't there, that's for sure. But it bridged over one of the biggest rivers in Maryland. It's called the Patapsco River, and the Patapsco River flows from downtown Baltimore out to the Chesapeake Bay, and then under the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and then all the way down the Chesapeake Bay to the Atlantic Ocean. So they say it was the largest auto port on the east coast of the United States, because there's a railhead right where the boats could come in. Better short some things down. It's also a lot of cruise ships going there. So 440,000 passengers were serviced under that bridge in 2023. 52 million tons of goods went under that bridge last year, and it was $80 billion of goods. So 52 million tons worth $80 billion went under that bridge last year. And then I looked it up, 34,000 cars a day went over it. So when you factor that the bridge is now gone, but only gone from a road perspective, because where it actually is laying across the river now. So both the port and the Beltway are closed. So it's like a double whammy for the infrastructure people and for the economy of Baltimore. And I don't see it getting handled quickly. I mean, maybe, I imagine it'll take months to get the bridge cleared out of the shipping channel. And then to engineer and construct and pay for and become operational. I imagine that's a couple-year project to get the road repaired. Anyway, the ship hit the bridge at 1:30 in the morning, like so in the dead middle of the night. That's why it was dark. You can see all the lights if you look at the video. And there's only something like 8 or 10 cars that actually went into the water. The fall is so far, I couldn't find how tall the bridge was, but I've driven over it several times, and it is intimidatingly tall. And I imagine if you went from the car deck straight down into the water, you would not survive that fall. So anyway, that's about all I have on the bridge. I just thought I'd look it up, and then the picture I showed you, I wanted you to see where it was and why it's such a big deal for Baltimore. So I guess one of the other things we should talk about is there's lots of rumors running around that it was a terrorist attack and it was an attack on our U.S. infrastructure and all that. And I'm gonna have to say I don't tend to believe that way right now. I see no real evidence to that. I mean, it does. Even the little bit of news media that's out has it pretty clear that the ship lost power. And if you know anything about big ship steering, you need movement in the ship to push water over the rudder. And so even if the rudder's turned, but you're not pushing any water with your props past it, a turned rudder doesn't really do anything. So a ship without power isn't pushing any water, so it's really just purely adrift. So I just don't see it. The other thing is, a lot of people don't know, especially in the state of Maryland, you cannot operate what we call north of the Bay Bridge. So the Bay Bridge is another huge, it's a 5-mile long bridge that stretches out over the Chesapeake Bay. And I live on the western shore, and on the other side is what we call the eastern shore. And you see freighters sitting out like a mile south of the bridge, waiting for what we call a local ship pilot or boat pilot to be taken out to the ship. Because only a certified local boat pilot can bring any ship of any size up underneath the Bay Bridge and then operate in the river. So I'm pretty sure it was the man at the helm, maybe not in what they call command, but the man at the helm was a local boat pilot. And I just think the chance of a local boat pilot being subverted and a boat captain and all that, I think that's probably reaching a little far. But I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but I'm going to say that certainly isn't where I'm going at this point. I don't think there's any evidence that points that way right now. So we've owned a little boat, a little 24-foot boat for, 30 years. And, we've been all over the Chesapeake Bay. We've been up underneath the Bay Bridge. We've been up the Patapsco River. We've been under the bridge that collapsed. We've been up into the middle of Baltimore Harbor. In fact, a buddy of mine even went out what we call the C&D Canal, the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal, which is a shipping canal that goes all the way out to the Atlantic Ocean. And we spent 5 days going all the way around what we call the Delmarva Peninsula. So done a fair amount of boating out here. So that's, I don't know, that's just how I get some sense of what's going on. So today in the paddock was largely getting ready for the departure. And so all the gifts you guys have got provided me over the last couple of months, from Secret Santa up through the last couple of days, so many samples of pipe tobacco and cigars. So everything's put away now. Everything's jarred. Even those, some of you sent me not even whole ounces, but everything's in. I have little jelly jars, so if it's like 1 ounce or less, I seal it up in the little canning jars that are jelly jars. And all the cigars that weren't sealed got put in Tupperdoors today. So the paddock looks way more organized than it did yesterday. just whenever I leave somewhere, I try to leave as neat, like here in the house and in my office, laundry, trash, everything. So when I come back, I'm not coming back to a heap. It's bad enough just dealing with the mail that comes in while I'm gone. Same thing when I left Wyoming back in January, I left it clean. So when I get back there Thursday night, I walk into a clean house ready to be lived in and not a chore factory. I did not know how many pipes I had, by the way. I guess that's probably one of the seminal symptoms of pipe acquisition disorders. You keep buying pipes even though you have no idea how many you have. So when Sapper Piper put out his call for a god, what he wanted to see was your pipe collection. I said, you know what? I should put them all in one place. And I was a little bit shocked. 48. And I missed one. I'd bought a new one from Boswell, so it's actually 49. I found it while I was cleaning up. And then I found one that Doug sent me, Chuck and Piper, so it's actually 50. So I believe there's actually 50 pipes inside the paddock now. And that's not counting any of my Wyoming collection, so I definitely have a problem. So I guess we should discuss what could probably appear like a real conflicting positions that sometimes I put out. Like, so let's talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a minute. I've put out several videos where I was very negative on it. Like, I mean, it's probably a creation of the CIA. It's probably a way to lure people in to think they can do things without the government knowing about or seeing it, or it might be an asset you can own without the government knowing you own it. And I still believe all that to be true. And I also believe you can make money with it. So I just want to, in one video I'm talking bad about it, and the next video I'm telling you I'm putting money into it. And I had the realization that might look really confusing, and I don't confuse things I disagree with making money. Like, I don't think a lot of the original reasons people liked Bitcoin are true, but I also believe, certainly from now through the end of the year, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies you can make money on, even if they are being monitored, even if they know you own it. Even if it was created by a nefarious agency for a nefarious purpose, that doesn't mean that its value won't go up. So I have moved a bunch of money into Bitcoin. I told you 2 weeks ago I was going to, and I've largely done it now. But I'll also stay nimble. I might come out. You never know. If it doubles in the next 30 days, maybe I'll pull some out. If not, I'll probably let it ride to the end of the year, certainly through Thanksgiving, and we'll see what it does. But anyway, I just wanted to address what could be viewed, certainly by you guys, as this complete conflict. I say bad things about it one day and I buy it the next. So I just wanted to try to explain that. So I had a really good chat with Flat Cap Piper today, Raphael. He initially contacted Greg, and then Greg sent him to me, but he is all over this Team Freedom thing. I mean, he is like in its core, wants to be part of it. And so we'll get him a badge, and then he's going to bring it out to his community as well. So we have several presenters that are going to start pushing out Team Freedom into some slightly different groups. So this thing is doing exactly what I hoped it would do, to be honest, but doing it more successfully and quicker than I thought it would. UPS dropped off a box just a minute ago, so I'm hoping we have 130 new badges coming in, so I'm hoping to take a box with me to Wyoming, but I've got about 10 I have to get out. I'll get all those out tomorrow, one of them being Raphael. And then I'll take, 20, 25 with me. It's just nice to see it growing. it seems like just about anybody who touches it wants to share it. And that's maybe that's one of the key components of being part of Team Freedom, is that you wish to share it with those around you, your family, your friends, other YouTubers. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Anyway, it makes me happy to talk to anybody about it and help it grow in any way we can. So another aspect I like about the Team Freedom folks is every now and then someone will come on their channel and say what they think it means, because we haven't defined it yet, right? There's no entrance criteria. There's really no single definition of it. And I was thinking about writing a creed or a constitution of Team Freedom, but it's more fun to watch you guys come on your channels and say, here's what it means to me. And that might be way more powerful than some donkey writing a sheet of paper and saying, well, this is what I think the team needs to think it is. So, because Flat Cap Piper did a really good job in a text he sent me as to why he thinks it's good. Um, and Tim from Tim's School of Pipes, he did one on his channel that was pretty awesome. So maybe we won't write it down. Maybe we'll just let everyone define what it means for them and why it's so important to them. That might be way more meaningful. Chance wants another gratuitous dog shot. You a camera hog? You like that? You like showing off? Yeah. Everybody liked you, buddy. Yep, this is my boy. Good boy. So it's been a little over an hour and I've only had to go get him once. So that's pretty good for Chance. As I gotta tell you, man, it is perfect weather for this. Perfect weather. I can't believe I'm flying away from this weather. Yeah, it's still almost 60. Still no wind. Nice sunshine. Both my dogs are behaving. Man. Uncle Willie, it's time for the coop. It's perfect coop weather, man. So guys, I opened up Pandora's box and I knew I was doing it when I asked about badge, what should go on the badge, and I got exactly what I thought. Almost everybody answered had a different answer. So I'm not ignoring anybody's input. I want to make sure you know that. But some of you suggested t-shirts and hats and stickers and challenge medals and different versions of the badge, one with YTPC and one without, and one with, maybe all the different communities are starting to get involved. And so we might end up managing 5 or 10 different badges and all that. So eventually, I think we're going to eventually have to turn this into a merch shop, because I cannot be a single point of failure for all the orders and all the inventory management and all that. So we'll get there. Just be patient. For the next month, we'll probably just stay the way we are, unless we have a blowout somewhere and, we need to get a couple hundred badges out. We'll see. But anyway, just be patient. I'm not ignoring your answers. And I love where it's going. I'd love to have a merch shop with several thousand people going through it. So, we'll figure it out. We'll do it right. And that means doing it right, doing it slowly, finding out what kind of interest there is. So that's what we're doing. So my question the other night was really the first step, that first infant step in how do we make this into a larger enterprise. So I'm sure Tim and Flat Cap and others are going to want to play a role as their communities get involved as well, because they're bringing in different size organizations, and Tim's bringing in whole different subject areas. So that is absolutely fantastic and what I was hoping for. But but we got to roll a little bit slowly, particularly if I'm going to stay at the focal point at some point. We'll have to do it more professionally than the way I'm doing it. All right, guys, well, let's keep this a little bit shorter. We had a couple of tobacco-oriented, pipe-oriented videos today. We've kept our videos a little bit shorter today, so let's do that with this one. Let's just say goodnight. It's been a great hour and a half here. So thanks for spending another fireside chat with me. May God bless you and those close to you. May God turn his ear towards your prayer. And may God make his face shine upon you and those close to you. May he bless your lives as well as he has blessed mine. We'll talk again tomorrow. Wednesday will be the last day for Maryland for a while. And that's it, you guys. Have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow. Bye, everybody.